My husband, Sam, was someone I thought I'd known who honored truth and connection as much as I did. I had thought we were living together, in the name of respect and mutuality, for years. But then Sam poked a hole in that crust about a year ago, when he said something about a new online friend. He never said much, just named this friend Alex. And since Alex's name was genderless, I assumed Sam had identified a man to associate with, maybe in the form of a hobby or game. I never imagined Alex to be the subject of so much suffering. Initially, I rejoiced Sam was now friends. I even told him to hang out more because maybe that'll brighten his day. But something about his relationship with Alex began to smell different. But it took a long time to realize this wasn't just any friendship. Sam shared everything with Alex. And I mean everything. Names of fights and small annoyances and even intimate parts of our marriage. All I considered sacred. I learnt of this one day when Sam made an unprovoked observation in a disagreement. Well, Alex does. Alex thinks you're overreacting. Froze. What? Who was this Alex and why was he getting on our personal stuff? And the more I interrogated, the more I could see Sam approaching Alex like a prophet. He would end fights with "Alex said you're wrong" or "Alex thinks you should just shut up." Worse still, he told me straight up, "Alex hates you." The mere fact that he did that was like a punch in the face. So why would my husband stay friends with someone who loathed his wife? He said this to me gently. "I will sometimes have people in my life who do not like you. You just have to put up with it. Accept it." No, I could not. We argued about Alex a lot, and every time Sam said no, he was going to stop Alex. But there's always this feeling I felt like he wasn't really being totally honest. Still, I clung to hope. I thought we'd grown out of it, that Alex was out of our life. I was wrong. And now it's this Thanksgiving weekend. We'd driven from out of state to see our families. It was a very long drive, but good to see loved ones again. We went to the mall on Black Friday to shop the deals. There were thousands of customers, it was full. When we negotiated the crowd, I saw a woman running towards us. She had a similar face, though I didn't immediately recognize her. She ran into Sam's arms before I could do anything. They hugged like lovers I hadn't known, and they held each other for too long to be warm. That's when I realized it. This was Alex. That Alex that I had fought with for months. And now she was, right in front of me, smiling like she had the world. I was angry, betrayed, shocked. Why hadn't I seen the patterns before? Our families are from a big state with 2 big cities, and Sam had never told Alex where he was from. Even so, I was floored by the insight. I tried to nudge Sam's attention, but Alex turned his back on me like I was some stranger. But then suddenly she pulled me to the floor and crept back onto my husband, tying herself to him like a monstrous octopus. Snap. I pulled her off him and said things, but Alex beat me on the face. Her hand prickled me into the ether. I tried to hit her back, but Sam got my wrist. His mouth turned to be angry, not at Alex but me. "What is it, you idiot?" he yelled, furious. My jaw dropped. Was he seriously defending her? We started drawing more people with a noise. Alex's friends got in, yelling at me, and Sam stood there, mute and in the dark. And with every attempt at self-defense, they shouted at me more. It was as if I was in a dream. Security and the police rolled up and started cutting us down and interrogating. It is to my horror that they deemed me the culprit and dragged me out of the shopping center. I could hear Alex and her friends giggling as I was taken off. One even got out their phone and videoed it. The humiliation was unbearable. And when I did, I was shaking. Part out of anger, part because of the November wind. What had just transpired slammed me like a freight train. I'd been publicly humiliated, lied to by my husband, beaten up by the same woman who had hurt me so badly before. And the worst part, Sam had sat by and watched. I could not stay there, I knew. I could not see him, not in the way he'd done. We had taken Sam's car this time, so I couldn't leave on my own. I needed to be able to drive, so I grabbed an Uber and drove back to the hotel. The journey was an accident, my head swirling with treason and rage. So what is he going to do to me? So how could he have picked her over me? At the hotel I decided. Packed my bags. I didn't really know where I was going to go, but I knew I couldn't stay there. I called my brother and cried to the top of my voice as I described what had happened. He listened and then said, I'm going to steal you." He drove 2 hours to the hotel, and when he got there, he didn't miss a beat. He took my bags and drove me into his car. I was relieved and broken as we drove off. I was fleeing not only a horrible weekend, but my marriage too. But I had done what was right. I could not be put into a place where I was so publicly abused. Days passed before Sam realized I was gone. Around midnight, my phone buzzed. And it was him, as if nothing had happened. "Hey," he said in the air. "When are you coming back to the hotel? I thought we'd get snooty." Snooty. After everything that had happened. I hung up on him, disgusted. He texted back in a few minutes. It was something like, "Alex was right all along. She told me everything, including how you traumatized her. So when we get home, you better get all your crap and out." I looked at the screen with shaking hands. Trauma. What trauma? Alex was the one who had beaten me for years. And now she was playing victim. My brother, who'd heard the call and seen the text, hung his head in confusion. "You won't go anywhere," he told me. "That is your home too. He can't kick you out." His encouragement was lifeline in those days. I felt abused, betrayed, and totally isolated, but at least I had somebody. I spent the next few days trying to put it all together. I remembered all the years of hell Alex had subjected me to. She'd been a bully, in the best possible sense of the term. Someone who lived for making people miserable. I had fled the state to get away from her, only for her to smear her way back into my life through my husband. The disloyalty was just too much. Sam was texting me, wrath and pleas. The first time he'd ask me to leave the house. The second, he'd plead with me to come back and talk things through. Could not react. What was there to say? He'd favored Alex over me, over and over again. To this day, he never came to admit the gravity of his transgression. As I worked through all of it, I started to fear the level of the harm. What had Sam told Alex? Did she have sex photos of me? Personal information she can smear on me? It was an idea that rubbed me the wrong way. Never had I been so bare, so defiled. I felt angry and sour, almost without words. I was hungry for justice, but more than that, for peace. My brother was with me for the first few days to ensure that I was taken care of. He told me I had rights, I had power, I had worth. Gradually but steadily, I came back to myself. It was not just about Alex or Sam, I realized. It was me speaking up and not taking it.